Well, let me tell you, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm sorry?
That's not really a local issue.
It's
The
not.
federal government is putting programs for us as well.
Well, right, it needs to become a local issue again. The federal government has improved.
I'm glad you took the question.
I'm glad you're here. My wife told me the other day, a couple of kids were reprimanded at school. We're a great barometer because with 5 kids, we have a child represented at each level of the school system, so we get a lot of service. We used to play a card game called War. Remember that game? It was a blast. It was great. You can't call it War anymore.
I still play that with my grandkids.
Yeah. Did he correct you?
Nobody corrected me.
No, I got corrected by War. I forget what it's called now. Some maybe PC thing. That's what it's like. You can't call it a card game that we've all known. So that's an example of how bad it's gone. And we see it, throughout this administration as well. There's a lot in what you asked. There's a lot, yeah. And I don't remember them all. So can we go back to the first one? Just give me a little reminder.
Okay. Right now, we have 15 million employed.
Oh, right, okay.
Now, I'm not going to say illegal immigrants because they have not immigrated to our country. They have come here illegally. They are illegal aliens.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's do that one, then I'll remind you. No, I got it, I don't stop with that. Okay, thank you. It's a huge issue. It's a huge issue. It's not just, Arizona is sort of the extreme. But, I'm sorry?
They're the norm, and they're being made to be the extreme.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a problem everywhere. That's just the one we're reading about. It's a problem everywhere. Look, in New Ipswich, New Hampshire, the chief of police made an arrest. Among those he arrested were 3 illegal immigrants. He called the Federal Bureau, ICE, right, the Immigration Enforcement, and was told to let them go. That's New Hampshire. So my point is, what's really behind all this applies across the board. It's not because we don't have the laws. It's because we have a soft policy in this nation of tolerating illegal immigration, tolerating illegal aliens. We tolerate it. We allow employers to hire illegals. We don't enforce that. We allow cities to hold themselves out as sanctuary cities. And they get federal grants, and we don't back it up at all. And now, the president is suing Arizona over a problem this administration created. And, by the way, it's not just this administration. Prior administrations as well. This has not been overnight. This policy has been a soft degradation in our laws. And that's where it needs to change. That is where it needs to change, because we can build higher walls and put up UAVs and do all that, but as long as we tolerate it amongst our own people, we'll continue fighting the battle. And if you thought illegal immigration was tempting before, now that we have Obamacare, Katie Barber.
They're taking our jobs they're taking our jobs and doing it much faster than we can.
Well, we can start in 2010. We can start in 2010.
This current government, federal government, somehow, I shouldn't say that, the big spenders convinced about 40% of the American people that in a bad economy, it was a good idea to do the largest tax increase in American history, which is basically a socialist health care bill. Another chapter in socialism was actually good for us. And on top of that, what's coming next, as probably everybody here knows, is even a larger tax increase, which will be cap and tax, which will be called by another name. They'd always change the name when it gets unpopular. Which won't reduce any emissions by any measure, anyways, even if somebody was in favor of that. And after that, we're going to have an even higher tax, they're gonna try to push through the value-added tax, which is basically multiple layers of, as we know, as we probably all know here, multiple layers of lose my thought for a second. Multiple layers of national sales tax to further the president's economy, which is in shape, difficult shape right now. How would you convince those voters that feel that spending money we don't have, printing money we don't have, is actually good for us?
I actually believe part of the problem here is most voters agree with you. I think the problem is we have a leadership that will not listen. Scott Brown. I joined this race right after the Scott Brown election. I don't know of an example of a special election that was more clearly about really a referendum almost on healthcare reform legislation. Scott Brown should race. I mean, he's a good candidate, but it's still Massachusetts. But people spoke loudly and clearly that they're opposed to healthcare. He ran on repeal. Didn't pass that, you know what I mean? Yet, how many of us thought the administration, congressional leaders say, "Whoa, we've got to listen to the people here," and maybe we think what we're about to do? Nope, full speed ahead. That's a government that's not listening to the people. I believe 2010 is going to be about restoring leaders that listen to the people and agree with them. That's not what we have. You are right. Those who are in charge believe that you can spend your way out of a recession, that you can tax your way into prosperity. Never worked. It never has worked. It never will work. Where we stand right now is that if Congress does not act, the tax cuts that were put in place in 2001, 2003 will go away. Taxes will go up. If Congress doesn't even do anything, Congress doesn't have to vote to increase taxes. It's going to happen unless they vote to make those tax cuts permanent. Even with that, corporate taxes are the second highest in the world. Layer on the fact that we now have this Obamacare, the unintended consequences of which we will never be able to predict. Talk about unintended consequences, right? Community Reinvestment Act, that's the Fannie and Freddie. When somebody, some Democrat, Barney Frank probably said, let's get everybody into a home. That's the American way. Home ownership is the American way. Lower mortgage standards. And the unintended consequences were a recession from which we're still recovering. Now, fast forward. More magic wand policy. Wouldn't it be nice if everybody had health care? Pass the law. Here we are. What are the unintended consequences? The mortgage proposal, Community Reinvestment Act. That was mortgages. This is one system of the economy. Here's what really gets me though. Home ownership isn't what makes America strong. What makes America strong is qualifying. It's working hard, saving your money, getting good credit, getting down payment, then getting the home. The home is the symbol, but it's that process that makes America strong. And that policy change pulled the rug out from made America weak. Same with healthcare reform. The old system was not a perfect system. It needs work. There are many things we can do. Incentivizing innovation, tort reform, state access across the line, but many things. But in fact, those are the beginning of what we should be doing. But those were the simple ones that we could have done and didn't do. But we didn't do those things. We waved the magic wand and undercut what was good about the system. In the old system, it was an employer-driven system. You got a job, you got health insurance. That's good. People work, they got benefits from it. Now, don't need a job, you can be 26 and still live off your parents, and if you're a legal immigrant, get that too. So,